before we get started on 8-3, let's take a minute, open your notebook, read your notes from 8-1 and 8-2. That was more than a week ago. I'm sure maybe just one or two of you, or maybe all of you, could use a little refresher on what we learned before spring break. So take a minute, do that, stop the video, then start it back up. You're going to need that information to understand what we're going to be talking about today. Graphing linear equations using an intercept. Today we're going to learn how to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Oh, please. Okay, thank you. Done. The x-intercept and the y-intercept. Here we go. There we go. And we're also going to learn how to graph linear equations using these two intercepts. So let's see how this is going to work. Intercept. So what's the word mean to you guys? Yeah, I'm thinking intercept means to intercept a pass in football or a pass in basketball. And create a turnover maybe. So it means to interrupt something that's happening. If you intercept a spy message or whatever, I don't know. Okay, so you got to intercept. In math, it means it's the point where a line crosses this axis and this axis, the x and the y axis. So our intercepts are going to be right here. So let's actually make a nice definition. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis, where the line crosses the x-axis. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. X-axis, x-intercept, y-intercept. The x-intercept is the x-coordinate of a point where a graph crosses it. So if we look at this graph right here, okay, and we want to see what the x-intercept is, we're going to look and see where it crosses the x-axis. And it crosses the x-axis at -3, 0. So the x-intercept is -3. Or -3, 0, I would also accept if you wrote it as an ordered pair, either way. The y-intercept, in this case, is where it crosses the y-axis, or 0, 5. Let's look at this graph here, shall we? Okay, here we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis. Where do we cross the x-axis? What is that point? What's our x-intercept going to be? It's this point, which we know is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. 6, 0, right? And where does it cross the y-axis? Our y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and that point is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 0, -4. Here are a couple problems we'll try again together. You can try them by yourself. We can stop the video and listen if you and not hear me do it, and then listen to me in a second and see if you got it right. So state the x-intercept and the y-intercept of each line. All right. For problem A, the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, and that's this point right here. And we could label that point. The x-intercept would be what? How far do we go over on the x-axis? That point is 4, and we don't go up or down, so that x-intercept is 4, 0. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis, and that point is 0, -2. 0, -2. So there we found the intercepts for this line right here. Let's try B. Okay, B we have, you'll notice, a vertical line. What's the x-intercept? Well, it's where it crosses the x-axis, so it's that point right here. And what is that point? What is the x-intercept? It is 3, 0. How about the y-intercept here? Does it cross the y-axis? No. So there is no y-intercept. Okay? You can also find the x-intercept and the y-intercept from an equation of a line. To do that, what you want to do is you're going to follow this key concept. And if I were you, I'd go ahead and write this down word for word. Usually when you see key concept, you know it's important. What you'd like to do is you're going to find the x-intercept. You're going to let y equal 0 in the equation, and then you'll solve for x. To find the y-intercept, you're going to let x equal 0, and then you're going to solve for y. Just write that down, sort of think through those words and what they mean as you write them, and then we're going to do an example here in just a second. Okay, here it says find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for the graph of y equals x minus 6. Y equals x minus 6. Well, to find these intercepts, we have to, it's 2 steps. We have to find the x-intercept, right? And we have to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to make a little table for myself so I keep my problem organized. You know me, I like everything organized, right? Whenever, what did those directions tell us? They said when we were finding the x-intercept, y should equal 0. When we were finding the y-intercept, they told us to let x be 0. Okay, let's see what that means. Here's our equation, y equals x minus 6. We're going to let y equal 0, so 0 equals x minus 6. We're going to solve for x, so we'll add 6 to both sides to get our variable alone, and we find out that x equals 6. So our x-intercept, the point where it crossed this, where this line crosses the x-axis, is 6, 0. X is 6, y is 0. To find the y-intercept, we're going to let x be 0. So we'll take 0 and substitute it in for x. Y equals 0 minus 6. So y is negative 6, we find out. So the y-intercept for this equation is x is 0 and y is negative 6. All right, and that's how you find the x and the y-intercept for the graph when you have an equation. You might want to watch this part again. Listen to it one more time. All right, you can also graph equations when you know the x and the y-intercept. Okay. We just did example number 2, and we found out that when we have the equation y equals x minus 6, we know that it passes through 6, 0, and 0, negative 6, right? Well, we can draw a graph, plot the points, and draw a line to connect them. So what happens? Let's look over here, and we see that we plotted 6, 0 where it crosses the x-axis, and 0, 6 where it crosses the y-axis. And then we draw a line to connect the 2 points. And that is the line for this equation, y equals x minus 6. So to graph with equations, you're going to find the x and the y intercept, which is what we did the slide before. Then we're going to graph the 2 points, and then we're going to draw the line and label. So these are your 3 steps. You might want to write those down. Okay, here we have a problem. Y equals x minus 3. First thing we're going to do is find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. X-intercept, y-intercept. We have 2 parts to this problem, right? Okay, when it's the x-intercept, y is going to equal 0. When it's the y-intercept, x is going to equal 0. Okay. Y equals x minus 3. We're going to be able to graph this equation. Sorry, I didn't say what we're actually trying to do here. So our first step in graphing this equation is to find the x and the y-intercept. So y is 0. 0 equals x minus 3. Plus 3, plus 3. We're trying to get the variable, and we find out that x equals 3. So the x-intercept is 3, 0. The y-intercept, y equals x minus 3. This time x is 0, so we find out y equals 0 minus 3. Y equals negative 3. So our y-intercept is x is 0, y is negative 3. So here are our 2 points, 3, 0, and 0, negative 3, that we're going to take and graph. So now we're going to graph these points, 3, 0, and 0, negative 3. Did I copy those right? I think so. Let me run back and check real fast. Yes, okay, good. All right, so 3, 0, we go and label our x and y axis. 3, 0, and 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3. We draw a line to connect the 2 dots and actually extend the line and put an arrow on the end. Extend the line, put an arrow on the end. There's our line. And then the last thing you do is you actually label the line. The name of this line is y equals x minus 3. So we graphed the 2 points and we drew the line and we labeled it. Use intercepts to graph. Okay, here's another problem for us to try. Same idea. X plus 2y equals 4. X plus 2y equals 4. Use the x and the y intercepts. So the first thing we're going to have to do is find the x and the y intercept. So x-intercept and the y-intercept. We know when we're looking for the x-intercept, y is going to equal 0. And when we're looking for the y-intercept, x is going to be 0. So x plus 2y equals 4. We're going to have y equals 0. So x plus 2 times 0 equals 4. What's 2 times 0? 0, right? So x equals 4. So our ordered pair is 4, y is 0. Our y-intercept, right? X plus 2y equals 4. X equals 0. 0 plus 2y equals 4. 2y, therefore, equals 4. Divide both sides by 2, and we find out that y equals 2. So our ordered pair for the y-intercept is 0, 2. So let's graph those 2 points. 4, 0 is our x-intercept over 4, 0. 4, 0, and our y-intercept is 0, 2. 0, 2. Connect the dots, make your line, put your arrows at the end, and label the line. And the name of this line is x plus 2y equals 4. Well done, guys. All right, some linear equations will only have one variable. Their graphs are either going to be horizontal or vertical. So this, when we see y equals 3, that means y is always going to be 3. Always, if I could only spell, always 3. You know, and here x equals -2, that means x is always -2. The x value is always going to be -2. Let's see if we can graph some horizontal and vertical lines. So here we have our equation again, y equals 3. Note that y is 3 is the same as x is 0 and y is 3. There is no x, right? So it's like 0x, right? 0x plus y equals 3. That's the same as 0 times x is what? 0 plus y equals 3. So y equals 3. So do you see that it's really like having 0x? So our ordered pair for y equals 3, the y-intercept is going to be 0, 3 over 0 up 3, and here it is. Y we know equals 3 will always be 3. So it'll be 3 here, it'll be 3 here. It never crosses the x-axis. It's a horizontal line. Here we have x equals -2. That means that x is -2. X is always, this is where it's going to cross the x equals -2, right? So where is the x? Are we going to have an x-intercept? Yes, it's going to be right here at -2. -2, 0. That's our x-intercept. All right? X is always -2. Here we are at -2, -4. Here we are at -2, 3. This creates a vertical line. X will always be -2. All right, a lot of stuff today. Here are some practice problems for you. Good luck. We'll go over these in class tomorrow, and see you then.